This week, former Vice President Joe Biden delivered a speech outlining his plan to rebuild the economy, which also heavily leans on a focus on combating climate change. Joining me now to discuss is White House Economic Revival Task Force member and former South Carolina Senator Jim DeMint, also a good friend of mine for a long time. Senator, tell us about the, let's focus in on Biden's economic plan. What are your thoughts?
Well, it relates to what I've been talking about all week, my new book, Saving America from Socialism. If you look at the plan, certainly if you read between the lines, Eric, this is a plan to move America towards socialism, higher taxes, more government control, more regulations. And if you want to see what socialism looks like, we've seen it under this COVID crisis overreaction, I think, telling us what businesses are essential, which ones aren't, where we can go, who we can meet with. There's just I think there's enough out there to sound the alarm. This election is going to be key.
And what, I watch, and I've been a student of the economy for many years, many decades, in fact. I started my television career talking about the economy, a financial analyst on TV after 20 years on Wall Street. I'm blown away at the resilience of the economy. It's just, I can't believe some of it. We've seen a recession, we've seen unemployment, double-digit unemployment, and yet it keeps bouncing back. What do you attribute that to, sir?
Well, I think people want to get back to work. I was talking to a car dealer who had been closed down in California and opened up despite the governor's restrictions, and they had the best month they'd ever had in the history because people were ready to come out and shop. Now, we've lost some businesses we're not going to get back, and I think it's going to take a while to get back to below 5% of employment. But people in America want to work, they want to shop, they want to make things. And if we just stop suffocating this economy and open it back up, we wouldn't need these giant stimulus plans to get the economy going.
Well, you bring up a stimulus plan. There's another one around the corner. When I'm looking at a stock market it's basically almost back to where it was prior to COVID. How many more? And the reason why I'm asking this, sir, is you and I are fiscal conservatives, staunch fiscal conservatives. We have to kind of hold our nose when we say, okay, another $1 trillion in stimulus. How many more waves of stimulus are we going to need?
Well, it makes me particularly sad, Eric, because I had so many fights with Republicans and Democrats trying to save a few $1 million. And now suddenly the faucets are open and we're spending trillions. But worse than just spending and borrowing, Eric, is what's happening here. The Federal Reserve is adding to their balance sheet, expanding the monetary supply, but we know it's printing money. And the market is looking fairly good because the feds are out there buying a lot of bad debt from the big banks and keeping liquidity out there. But this is just like keeping the economy going on steroids. We can't keep propping it up with this fake spending. We've got to let Americans get back to work.
I agree with that. And we got to open the economy. And I know there's a lot of, health risks to it. And those things need to be considered. But you got to get, it's America. We got to get this engine running again. My concern, sir, is we're adding trillions upon trillions of dollars of debt. I mean, conservatives like you and I blasted Obama for doubling the debt in his 8 years. And we might just do it again.
We might, and I'm real proud of Trump. I think he's accomplished a lot of things. He's got the right idea on less regulation, less taxes, but the spending, he's got to begin to speak out against it. I know from being in the House and the Senate myself that spending bills come from Congress, and the president either signs them or he shuts the government down, which he's already had to do one time. Yeah. So we need to push our congressmen and senators, Eric. But most of all, we need to realize that what's in front of us right now is a choice between free markets and socialism. And if Americans don't understand what socialism is,
that's right.
They need to find out.
That's right, Senator Jim DeMint. That's right. We got to get away from that hump, that concern of the pit of socialism. Once we get past that, 100% agree with you. Let's cut back on some of that spending. Senator Jim DeMint, thank you very much.
Thanks, Eric.